What is up, guys? EJ here, back with another video, and today it's going to be another top 10 list, my top 10 films of 2004. So let's get straight on with it. Up first, at number 10, we have iRobot, directed by Alex Proyas, who of course directed The Crow and Dark City, two of my favorite films of the 90s. And this film sort of went under the radar when it came out. I thought it was a brilliant sci-fi action adventure, of course, starring Will Smith, Bridget Moynihan. You got Bruce Greenwood, James Cromwell, Chai McBride. Loads of fun, very intense action scenes, and just a cool concept. A future where robots are sort of part of the population, but they have to live by certain rules, like not hurting humans or killing them. And of course, Will Smith is brought into action when an apparent murder has happened at the hands of one of these robots. And that was really the highlight of this film for me, was the way they depicted Sonny, the robot. He was just a really good character. I mean, it wasn't just a CGI creation. He's one of the best parts of this film, but there's great action scenes. Will Smith is really good in this movie, and just loads of fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed iRobot. I don't know why it sort of gets slammed unfairly by certain people, Roger Ebert in particular. This is a brilliant film. iRobot at number 10. Okay, at number 9, another sci-fi film from that year, and an interesting movie, I thought, and that is Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow, directed by Kerry Conrans, starring Jude Law, Gwyneth Paltrow, Angelina Jolie, and Giovanni Ribisi. Very interesting setting. It's sort of set in the 40s, but there's sort of like a futuristic invasion going on. These giant robots sent from somewhere or by someone. It's been a while since I've seen this, so my recollection of it is a bit foggy, to say the least, but really interesting, lots of fun. I especially remember the sort of witty banter, the dialogue between Jude Law and Gwyneth Paltrow. I thought this was a great film, very stylish looking. Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow, really underrated film from 2004, and number 9 on my list. Okay, up next at number 8, we have Ray. Of course, he directed this. Taylor Hackford. Sorry about that. Of course, starring Jamie Foxx as Ray Charles, along with Kerry Washington, who plays his wife in the film. Just a great biopic of a legendary artist, Ray Charles, obviously, who went blind at an early age. Went on to create some of the great gospel and R&B songs of the 50s and 60s. He died, I don't know how long it's been since he died. It's been a few years, but I believe he died after this film came out. Just great music, great performance by Jamie Foxx. He obviously had a huge year that year. He was also great in Collateral, the film with Tom Cruise. I love that movie as well. But this film he won Best Actor for. The depiction of Ray Charles and his trials and tribulations throughout his life. Sort of very interesting. Of course, he got into drugs, and very much mirrors the film Walk the Line that came out a year later, which is on my top 10 films of 2005. But this film came out before it. Yeah, great performance by Jamie Foxx. Just a very good film. Ray at number 8. Okay, number 7, probably the most controversial film of that year by far, and that is The Passion of the Christ, of course, directed by Mel Gibson, starring Jim Caviezel and Monica Bellucci. A tough film to sit through, to say the least. Of course, it's all in Aramaic and Hebrew and Latin. The story of the end of the life of Jesus Christ, um, betrayed by Judas, and then sentenced to die on the cross by the Roman public court or whatever, or Hebrews, depending on how you look at it. But it's very hard to sift through, especially the scene where he gets whipped by the like cat and nine tails, and then he has to drag the cross through the streets to the mound, and then of course he's nailed to the cross. It's very hard to sit through, man. I remember screening this film the day before it came out when I was working at the movie theater. I watched this and Dawn of the Dead like back to back in 2004 when they both came out. I haven't seen it since, I don't think. Actually, that's not true. I watched it again a couple years ago. But it's not a film I want to revisit every couple years, that's for sure. The Passion of the Christ, one of Mel Gibson's greatest films, along with Apocalypto. I think this is close to a masterpiece. It's not for everyone, I'll grant you that, but I really can't really say enjoyed it, but it's a film I admire and really respect what Mel Gibson did with this, taking probably the most, I don't know, sore or sacred subject matter and turning it into this cinematic vision was really ballsy what he did. The Passion of the Christ at number 7. Okay, number 6, very good film, and that is Finding Neverland, directed by Mark Forster, starring Johnny Depp and Kate Winslet. The story of James M. Barrie, a struggling playwright who befriends a widow and her 4 children, and of course it inspires him to write the classic children's tale Peter Pan. Very good performances by Depp and Kate Winslet in this film. Julie Christie as well is great in it as Kate Winslet's mother. Just a very beautiful film. I love the performance by the kids as well. One notable actor's name, it's not on here. Kid who's been in a bunch of British kid who's been in a bunch of movies since this film. I forgot his name. Dustin Hoffman, also great in this as well. Just a beautiful movie. If you like Peter Pan, obviously the Disney classic from 1953, and I even like the live action film from 2003 as well. This is a good companion piece to those 2 movies, that's for sure. Finding Neverland at number 6. Okay, number 5, obviously, because the first volume was in my top 10 films of 2003. And that is Kill Bill Volume 2, the second part of Quentin Tarantino's masterpiece, starring Uma Thurman. And this time she sort of more takes on Michael Madsen and Daryl Hannah's characters. I love those scenes. But the best scene, the highlight of the film, is when she goes head to head with Bill himself, played by the great David Carradine. Just amazing dialogue, amazing action scenes, all the stuff with the training, with the martial arts training, with the crazy guy with the white beard. All that stuff is great, and yeah, just ferocious performance by Uma Thurman in this film, both films. I love the Kill Bill movies. Next to Tarantino's other great works, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Inglourious Bastards, Jackie Brown, which I didn't mention last time. This is right up there. Okay, where am I? 4. In my opinion, the most underrated and misunderstood film of the decade, probably, and that is Alexander, directed by Oliver Stone, starring Colin Farrell, Angelina Jolie, Anthony Hopkins, Jared Leto. Just a brilliant film, and the reason why I think this sort of bombed, if you like, is it shows Alexander as a flawed man. I mean, he's known as Alexander the Great, conqueror of most of the free world back in those days. the king's son from Macedonia who went to conquer Persia and India, and eventually failed. But he conquered most of was now the Middle East and Minor Asia. Yeah, just brilliant battle scenes. The Battle of Gaugamela is one of the great battle scenes I've ever seen put on film. I love the battle scenes in India when he's sort of charging on his horse up against the elephant. That's a great moment. And I just thought this film sort of got understood. There was sort of, I mean, I remember watching this in the theater and people were like laughing at certain scenes, sort of the gay undertones, if you like. And it really sort of pissed me off at the time when I watched it. I mean, people weren't really respecting what Oliver Stone was trying to do with this movie. And I don't know, it just, some people just didn't think it worked. I thought it worked. It shows Alexander as the flawed man that he was, not this mythical hero who conquered the world. That's why it's called Alexander and not Alexander the Great, and that's really why I think this film is misunderstood. Okay, number 3, a lot of people's favorites from that year, mine too, and that's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Brilliant film directed by Michel Gondry. Great script by Charlie Kaufman. One of Jim Carrey's best performances. Kate Winslet, great as well. Very good supporting cast. Tom Wilkinson, Kirsten Dunst, Elijah Wood, and Mark Ruffalo. Just a beautiful film about two people. Jim Carrey finds out that his former girlfriend, Kate Winslet, has gone to this place that erases him from her memory, and he wants to do the same thing. But in doing that, he sort of relives and re-experiences all these beautiful memories of this girl. And it's just a beautiful story. It has very interesting layers, and as it goes on, you never really know what to expect. It's just a brilliant film from beginning to end, and I think it's one of Kate Winslet's best performances, and definitely up there with one of Jim Carrey's best as well. Just a beautiful film, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Okay, number 2. No surprise, since I am a fan of big budget historical epics, and that is Troy, directed by Wolfgang Pearson, of course starring Brad Pitt, Eric Bana, Orlando Bloom, the chick who played Helen of Troy, Diane Kruger. Yeah, Diane Kruger. Great supporting cast. Got people like Brian Cox and Peter O'Toole. Just a brilliant, large-scale, great action battle film, and that's why I love it. It has great large-scale battles, and it has great one-on-one confrontations. I mean, the battle between Hector and Troy in front of the walls of the Trojan city. Of course, Eric Bana and Brad Pitt is just really intense. The music in that scene is just great. And yeah, so it's not just a big epic battle with loads of CGI characters. There's one-on-one confrontations. And I've always been just fascinated by the Trojan War as a story itself, sort of this mythic Greek tale what's his name? Plato's The Iliad. Yeah, Troy, just brilliant. I thought, I loved it. I always do like these type of films. It's just one of the ancient historical accounts. I'm just always interested in that kind of stuff. Histories, great battles, all that kind of thing. And of course, you gotta have the Trojan horse at the end. Yeah, Troy, one of my favorite films of the decade. Okay, last but not least, at number 1, in my opinion, it should have won Best Picture that year, but it didn't. And that is The Aviator, of course, directed by Martin Scorsese. Next to The Departed, this is my second favorite film that Scorsese has done in the past decade. Brilliant film, of course, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Cate Blanchett, Kate Beckinsale, Jude Law, John C. Reilly, Alec Baldwin, Alan Alda. Of course, the story of eccentric innovator and millionaire Howard Hughes, a pioneer in early aviation, the founder of, I believe it's TWA, and a very interesting individual. Went out with movie stars. Kate Blanchett, amazing as Katharine Hepburn in this film. She richly deserved her Oscar win. Of course, I mentioned Kate Beckinsale as Ava Gardner, and even Gwen Stefani played a role in this film as well as was it Veronica Lake? I think she played in this film. Yeah, The Aviator. I thought it was way better than Million Dollar Baby, which went on to win Best Picture that year. Even though I'm a big Eastwood fan and I do like that film, this film blew me away. It's a beautiful looking movie. All the stuff with the airplanes, especially the scene where Leo it's a solo flight and he basically crashes along the rooftops in Los Angeles. That's a very good scene, and especially when he's filming Hell's Angels, the 1930 war film. All that stuff is really interesting. I know a lot of people didn't like the sort of parts where he's sort of goes crazy and he's repeating stuff, and those scenes are kind of hard to watch actually. But Leo's great in this film. It's really criminal that he has not won an Academy Award yet. He's great in this. Gangs of New York, The Departed. You name it. This guy should have won an Academy Award by now. Catch Me If You Can. Leo is just great as Howard Hughes in this film, and one of my favorite Martin Scorsese films of the past decade. So that is my list. Top 10 films of 2004. Thank you for watching as always, and until next time, I'll see you.